Hey guys, what's going on? My name's called Sean and welcome to another video of Sean Talk. So today we're going to be discussing something that has kind of been on my mind really for a while, and that is social media. Um, and basically how social media has such an impact on our mindsets and who we are and things like that. It's very important to sort of, be careful in terms of, social media. Now, I personally, I don't have social media, and the only version of social media that I have is probably like I don't have the main ones. I don't have Snapchat, I don't have Facebook or anything like that. And the reason for that is because I feel like it's so consuming to your mind, and if it's affecting your mind, then it's affecting everything, and there's so much false information spread online. There's so much false sort of pretenses and false ideologies and false characters as well online. And it's very hard nowadays because, to see who is telling the truth and whatnot. And I even think that YouTube's changed. YouTube's changed since 2015. I mean, I remember 2015, you'd watch like PewDiePie and, Jacksepticeye and all those guys. Whereas now, YouTube is literally littered with porn stars on podcasts and all that sort of stuff. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with that or an issue with that, but what I do have is if a younger child, like a younger teenager or anything like that, was to access that and see those podcasts and stuff, then I really think that that could affect their, mental stability as a child and going forward and such. Um, because obviously they're sharing their stories and their ideologies on the world, which I think a lot of them are incorrect, and show a very limited view on life. And, you know, I made that decision to delete social media because I really felt like it wasn't any good for me. Like I say, I felt like I was constantly comparing myself to other people online. Like, I like to train, and exercise, hence why I'm out on a walk. And, I constantly found myself comparing my physique to other people's online, where these people were, you know, not all of them, but some of them, a big majority of them. Like recently, there's just been a guy, I don't know his name specifically, I think it's Hussein, I don't follow the whole thing, been seeing it on, YouTube. He's come out and basically he was pretending to be natty when he was in fact enhanced. And again, I think there's a lot of that on social media where, especially in a lot of young people, and I think this is the reason why a lot of young people nowadays are resorting to doing steroids so early on in their lifting career. And a lot of them are just resorting to doing steroids because they're seeing these gods amongst men on social media and the bodies that they have, and they're trading for like 6-7 months, maybe natural, maybe not even that, and they're disappointed in the results because you have all these people online lying, saying, oh, I got this body in 12 months, doing nothing but the natural stuff, and it's just complete lies. That's the thing that annoys me about social media. If they're literally setting the bar that high and it's unobtainable, because they're not doing it the natural way. At least if you're gonna do steroids or something like that, at least be honest about it. But again, that's another thing about social media, is it's very deceiving. The information on there is so incredibly deceiving. And I've always believed in a private life is a happy life, and hence why, again, I've never had social media. Sorry guys, I'm gonna switch arms because my arm's getting tired. And that's again another element of why I've never had social media. I decided to delete it at the start of this year, and honestly, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made because I don't find myself necessarily procrastinating each and every single day. I'm going out, I'm getting stuff done now, and I'm not distracted by constant bullshit. I think one of the worst applications for the human brain, okay, and this is one of the reasons why it was, you know, banned in America, is TikTok. TikTok is absolute nonsense. If you have TikTok, literally delete that application right now, because that is the epitome of consumption right there. Like, it genuinely is. You know, like I say, I'm not a fan of that sort of thing. But yeah, like I say, I just wanted to sort of hop on here and explain and just give you guys some examples, and hopefully you guys can take this information that I'm giving you and sort of input it into your own lifestyle. Just try to, you might not even have to delete it and go cold turkey. Just try and maybe deactivate your social media accounts for like a week and just see how you get on. And you might even notice something, that you are becoming addicted to social media, because that's also a thing. You know, becoming addicted to social media is definitely a thing in this day and age. You know, I think that there are good elements to social media, but there's a lot of bad. There's some good, but there's a lot of bad that comes with it. You know, if you're making content, I think that's a different story, because you're going out of your way to, if it's good content and such, and you're trying to spread a positive message, then I think that that's good and that's fair enough. But if you are, you know, posting just trash for people to consume, then I think that's a different story, and that's when the things that I've said sort of come into play. And yeah, you know, I genuinely do think that your life will be so much better without the input of social media. And like I say, just try and deactivate your social media accounts. You know, you don't have to delete them, just try and deactivate them for the week and see how you get on. And just, you will notice the difference, you know. You'll be not bubbled in this social media world. You will be present in the conversation around you with people and such. And you know, like I say, I genuinely do think that social media nowadays is a complete issue. And you know, I grew up, like I say, in the times of you know, when PewDiePie was at his peak, and Smosh and things like that. And you know, YouTube was, you know, popping back in 2015. You know, as a lot of people who will know, who watch YouTube in 2015. But YouTube 10 years ago and YouTube now is a completely different place. TikTok is absolute, you know, consumerism. And you know, like I say, I have Snapchat because and I don't even have that many people on there. I have Snapchat. I'm just gonna turn them out because, like I said, I'm on my walk. I have Snapchat because I feel like I can talk to my friends and family and stuff on that. That is literally all I use it for. And then I've got YouTube, you know. But I don't have Instagram because, again, Instagram is notorious for people putting on facades and pretending. That's what Instagram is famous for, you know. And I honestly think that social media will keep on evolving. And you know, in the next 10 years or so, it's going to be completely different as to how it is now, which is scary to think about, obviously, in regards to how much it's changed already in the last 10 years. But ultimately, guys, the point of this video is to kind of spread awareness in regards to social media, how it can affect your mind, how it can affect your mindset, and ultimately how it affects your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is everything. Your mindset is everything. The things that you do on a day-to-day basis and choose to do is everything. Your choices, your decisions throughout the day ultimately accumulate as to the person you will become. That's it. And if you're spending all your time consuming on social media, then how are you going to become the best version of yourself? You know, relating to the previous video that I mentioned, or the previous video that I made, if you haven't seen it, it's sort of tips and tricks and such in terms of how to become the best version of you. Check it out, it'll be on the channel. And yeah, you know, I just wanted to make this video to sort of, as I say, spread the awareness and you know, make you guys sort of visibly notice the actions that social media has on all of us in this day and age. You know, it's a very impactful thing. So ensure that if you do have it, that you're using it for the right reasons. That's all they ask. So anyways, guys, that is going to be it. I hope you have enjoyed the video. We're literally just out in the woods at the moment. I'm just going on my walk because it's important to get the steps in each and every single day. So if you guys want to follow me on my journey, like I say, it's Sean Talks. Just subscribe down below. Like I said, I'm going to try and upload as often as possible. And just, you know, no cuts, no edits, just come out with me, have a real talk about things that have sort of been on my mind and such lately. And just join me on the journey in becoming a better version of yourself. You know, we'll have these discussions, and you know, ultimately I want you guys to follow me on this journey in becoming better versions of ourselves each and every single day. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on social media and such, and how it's sort of impacted us in this day and age. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.